All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media. My name is Judson Powell. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit all the buttons for it, but most of all, hit the love button for one another. All right, so saw the Dave Chappell 30-minute special that he threw on YouTube last night, and so give my thoughts, my prayers. You know, the whole thing about systemic racism, slavery, all of that kind of stuff is to me, and it's what I said the other day, racism will never end. It's never going to end. So we should just get that through our heads. And once again, I will reiterate, don't get mad, get paid. Because that's the worst thing. One of the things that I like about Dave Chappell is that he's honest. And the other thing is what I was talking about yesterday. Basically, he's not afraid to say what he wants to say. And I think that everybody, being politically correct and all of that, and trying to fit into the white society and all of that, that just is never going to work. They're never going to accept you. Y'all know about the nigga wake-up call, and everybody gets that call. He got the call, as soon as he refused to renew his very famous show, then they started trying to tell him what? They tried to tell him he was crazy and he was, he had lost his mind because he didn't want to do it. And that's his prerogative. So y'all, and we can go through a whole list of people and all the types of things that they said and why they said them. But the whole deal is that when a black person decides that they want to, exercise their power and authority, all of a sudden, it's a problem. The other thing is all of this stuff with the police. Every time the police kill a black man or a black woman, it's a message. And I've been telling y'all this for forever. It's a public lynching. That's what it is. So they want to lynch us in public so that they can show their power and authority over us. And then up until forever, they don't do anything to these police officers. And the police officers are able to operate with impunity. So that's why we have police brutality. And that's why we have, quote unquote, but the Dred Scott case, so let's go to that. The Dred Scott case taught us what? Taught us that this country was never intended for us. That we were, and the Constitution itself says that we are 2/5 of a person. All right, and all of these things were legal, binding. Even slavery. The 13th Amendment didn't end slavery. What it did was it converted it into prison labor, and that's how come the new Jim Crow or whatever you want to call it was to send black men and women to prison. So, because if I send you to prison, then you're my slave, and that's what it's all about. The other thing is, let's be honest. Let's lay it all out. And like I've been saying the past few days, everything in this country, where money is concerned, they stole it. All the inventions, all the products, the goods, the services, everything, and they put legally. Remember, everything that's legal is not moral. Slavery was legal. All right, to go and file a patent or a trademark for some stuff that's not yours is stealing. But in the eyes of the justice system, it's legal. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand that all of these things have to be taken into consideration. Now, with that being said, I would like to digress to Bob Johnson. I guess not digress. That's a bad way to say it. Okay, I'm starting to like him again, just a little bit. Still mad that he sold BET, but then again, I was talking to one of my frat brothers, and it was like, well, we weren't in the room, so we don't know if they told him they was going to kill him or what if he didn't sell. They gave him $3 billion. His wife took half of it, so he had $1.5 billion at the end of the day. All right. Now, we don't know what was said in that meeting. We don't know what Viacom and Sumner Redstone and his cronies and all that, what they actually really said to him in those negotiations. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But to come back with the number, and I think the number was like 350,000. Each black person who is the descendant of slaves should get $350,000, and which is a good which is a good chunk of money. So that's all I'm saying. So the bottom line is that that's what they owe us, that money. The 40 acres and the mule was never paid. It was never given. I had a hashtag 40 acres and a Ford or whatever, but none of that money was ever paid. And so I keep on saying that there is no way that you're going to end racism. The only thing is we can do is get paid. The rest of it is because it's mental, and it's on them. It's not on us. It's not on us. It's mental. It's mental. So that's the thing I'm trying to say. You have to make sure that that you know that it's their mental illness. It's not ours. All right. And all this other stuff that's going on, all the the rapes and the pedophilia and all the things that are ingrained in rich people's society. That's how come you think it's a coincidence that all of these really super rich white folks have all these allegations, but yet and still they don't go to jail. Why two different justice systems? Well, we're never going to change that. That's something that's never going to change. It's not going to change. It really isn't. It's not going to change. And you know why it's not going to change? Because they're not going to put themselves in jail. See, that's for slaves. That's not for them. And the only people they're going to put in jail are poor folks that they can't afford the justice system, because that's what the justice system is all about. The justice system, if you got enough money, even OJ, the OJ case proved it. If you got enough money, you can get away with murder. Not to say that I'm not saying he murdered them people. I'm just saying, but most people in that situation, if you got arrested for murder, you would be in jail, locked under the jail, and especially if you're black or you're brown. That's just how it's going down. So stop having town meetings about racism. Stop having town meetings. You're wasting your time, because they're the ones that need to have the town meetings and figure out, it's like, because they're not having town meetings trying to figure out, well, why do we systemically over-incarcerate black people? This is the most, out of all the countries on the face of the earth, this is the most incarcerated, country in the world. And on top of that, we have the most murders and everything else, the most guns, the most everything that's violent and evil. We have it. We're the number one. We're number one in that. So so if they're trying to make America great, that's how they made America great. They haven't made America great by showing people, understanding, love, and compassion. That ain't how they do it. So stop worrying about that. Don't get mad. Get paid. Because even when you pay, they still might do you in anyway. I've seen a lot of rich black men. I know most of them have gone on into the universe, but seen a lot of wealthy black men. But you're never going to hear about them, and they're all trying to be discredited. And so so I was watching, and this is funny because last night I was watching on YouTube the interview with DJ Vlad. Actually, it was Linnell and Sinbad. And so Sinbad was talking about Bill Cosby. And so, in his relay, because, he was on a different world. And so he was talking about how he got the job and this, that, and the other thing. But the one thing that he mentioned, he mentioned like he went, and this is funny because I emceed this show. Bill Cosby and Sinbad came to Hampton, and Sinbad did his stand-up at Ogden Hall. And I remember that. And so there was a girl there who was trying to get into school, and she didn't have the money. So Cosby went and paid her tuition. He didn't, and he didn't try to, have sex with her or nothing like that. He didn't do nothing evil. In fact, he told people, don't tell her who gave her the money. And she had to dig to find out who gave her the money. And I'm gonna tell you, there's other men, but the whole thing is, And then there was one thing that he said. He said, because Cosby was America's dad. And then the one thing that he said was what? White children wanted Cosby to be their dad too. Because you don't get the number one, like you do not get the number one show in the country, for all those years. You don't get the number one show in the country and then get like the number 1 and 2 show and the spinoffs and all the things that came from that show. And it was brilliant. You had a doctor and a lawyer married, living in a brownstone in New York with good kids. Before that, all we had was good times. And I think, hold up. I can't say, now the Jeffersons was kind of, but the only thing about the Jeffersons is the Jeffersons was buffoonery, in my opinion. It was a lot of buffoonery because it was just like making like, George Jefferson just telling jokes and, making like, but when Cosby came along, it made the issues and everything, it made them real. And it looked at children, because on the Jefferson there were really no children. All right. Because Lionel, the older son, he was a little bit, he was already old. So you see what I'm saying? So it was the first time we ever got to see a black family, like a real black family, like there. And they were like going through struggles and they were going through problems, and and then you had this dad who was like the leader, and and he was the man. And see, they never allowed that. And so I believe that systemic racism has allowed them to put him into a situation where they wanted to discredit his legacy. And you see, even before he was convicted of anything, they removed all of the Cosby Show. They removed it out of history. But yet still you got all these pedophiles and all these other people that that we know that are evil folks, but their shows are still on TV and being shown on a regular basis. Why? But all of the Cosby Show and his progeny are gone, have disappeared. That's what I'm telling y'all. Racism, y'all not going, unless you get your own stuff, you're not going to get rid of racism. You're not going to get rid of it because it's inside of them. They hate you. And that's why I always tell people, it's like, I don't hate white people. I just hate racists. I hate white nationalists and white supremacists. Because you're living a lie. You're telling people that, that we're not. And once again, what I said yesterday is true. If you put us on an even playing field, we're going to whip your butt. Put us on the playing field. If you give me equal, if you give me everything equal, then I'm going to whip your butt. Or at least it's going to be comparable. And I'm telling you, to think about all of the millions, the hundreds, the thousands of TV shows that have been produced in Hollywood and and have come out and have been shown, and you can't name me, and even when they try to make a show like Soul, like MASH, or because some of us grew up and saw, even stuff like Gilligan's Island, and you can go back in television history. And there were people on there, or the Brady Bunch, all of these different shows and everything that we've had throughout the years. Well, the bottom line is that you have to realize that you can put everything up against Cosby, and Cosby is still the man. And that's why he's in jail. And and the thing about it is, and most of the people that were involved in it have already come out and said that, it wasn't what they said it was. A lot of those people came out. Why? Because they offered them money. See, the root of evil, they offer them money. Simple as that. So racism ain't never going nowhere, y'all. They always gonna hate us. They always, like I said, that's why I said yesterday, they're always searching for the great white hope so that they can say that they're superior, but when they are not. And that's the root. And then when they can't prove it, what do? They become murderous. And what? And y'all can go to your Bible. What was the root of the first murder? jealousy and envy. Jealousy and envy. That's why I don't subscribe to that book. I'm a jealous God. That's it. Fastest 15 minutes is up. I had to drop that one with y'all. Anyway, I had to drop that with y'all. Anyway, hit the like button, subscribe button, all the buttons. My name is Judson Powell. I love you. Think about it.